So I'm going to create a package job wherein this is the URL, branch, and build step is invoke top level Maven targets, my Maven, and the goal is package. Okay, so job is created. Let us build it and see how it works. Okay, it executes and you can check the workspace by going to here where live Jenkins workspace, or else you can also check the workspace from here also you can do. Right under target address book where file created now with the system time. Right? So all the three jobs were ready, compile, package, unit test, but they were independent and individual. How to connect them? Compile job should trigger unit test job, right? Compile should trigger unit test should trigger package, and so on, correct? So one job should trigger the next one. This is how the pipeline works. How to make this connection? We can use a simple logic. There were two sections, right? Build trigger section and post build actions. Post build can be used for report generation. It can be used for archiving the artifacts, or it can be used to trigger the next job. So use these two parts for every job. First job build trigger will be policy. Post build action. It has to start next job. For unit test, trigger is who is triggering it? Compile job. Post build action is the next job. For package, trigger is the job before it, which is unit test. The next step is nothing as of now, right? Post build. So using these two sections, it is simple logic, we can connect them. If you take any particular job, the job before it will be a trigger, job next to it will be a post build action. Using the simple logic, we can connect them. Shall we connect them? Let's see. Also, I would like to show you one more thing. Here, unit test is done and we have the report generated in the form of XML and text-based, right? But let's say I want to have a trend reports, better reports. Can we ask Jenkins to do that? Let's say I want Jenkins to display some trend reports here. If I need Jenkins to do anything, what should we do? Plugins, right? JUnit plugin, but that plugin is installed by default. So post build action can be used to generate. See, this option you're seeing means that plugin is installed. Here you need to provide the path of those raw XML files. You can get the path from here, or else you can get the path from the workspace in the console. Already Jenkins is running, and var lib Jenkins workspace. Here we have unit test workspace. Right, target, surefire reports. So this is the path of the reports. So we provide this path so that it will take this raw reports and generate the trend reports. Okay, but you don't need to provide the absolute path. It will check only in its own workspace. So you just need to provide from target because it searches in its own workspace. And there were multiple XML files, star.xml. So all the XML files, it will consider and it will generate the report. Now if you run, it should generate a trend report. In the third output, we can see that. Let it finish. And do you see that? Earlier we don't have it. This is the trend report. Like in this package, different classes, in each class, 14 test cases, 4, 5, total 23 test cases. Again, if you go see, these are all the unit test cases. Test sort, employee name. Kind of detailed reporting, a better user-friendly report so that anyone can understand how many test cases executed, how much time it took. So this is generated by which tool? This report is generated by which tool? Okay, first let me ask you, actual testing is done by which tool?
Selenium.
JUnit.
JUnit test
It's
cases, those are JUnit
Yeah.
test cases, right?
Yeah. JUnit.
Not JUnit. So those JUnit test cases were executed via Maven and they generated those XML reports. Now these trend reports were generated by which tool or which plugin? Jenkins plugin, right? This trend reports were generated by Jenkins plugin. Using that Jenkins plugin under the post build action, this is the plugin, JUnit test result report. Right? That's what you need to understand, which tool is doing what. Okay, now let's connect them. Go to compile, configure. Trigger is poll SCM or GitHub webhook. I'm not doing it. Okay, you can add the trigger. For now, I want to run manually. Post build. Post build, like we have seen, it can be used for generating report or archiving it or email notifications, or else we can also use it to run a next job. There'll be somewhere build other project. Which project it should build? The next project, which is unit test, next to it. So if you refresh, you can see that as a downstream. Do you see that? And in the downstream, post build. First poll is same also. What should trigger this? Build after other project. After which project? Correct? Right? And what is the post build for this? Build other projects. Build which project? Package. So you are adding downstream and upstream. Upstream means job before it. Downstream is job next to it. So upstream to unit test is compile. Upstream to downstream to unit test is package. Understood the logic, everyone? Now also
We have already configured the downstream in compile. Is it necessary to configure upstream in the next job?
to make sure the next job starts only after the completion of the previous one, yes, it's better to add it. It should start only after completion of the before one. So to make sure, yes, better you can add it. Build after other project. What should I add here? For package. What should be the trigger for package? It should execute after which job?
Test.
Test job, right? So
Unit
you
test.
test. And what is the post build now?
Nothing.
Nothing as of now. Later on, deploy job. But for now, nothing. That's a last job. That's all. Only upstream. It doesn't have downstream because it's a last job. Now, if you run the first job, that sequence follows. I just started this compile. Okay. Here in the dashboard, you can see compile, and in the build in queue, you can see the unit test. And then unit test will be started. And then in the queue, you can see package and so on. But when your pipeline is huge, this way checking it will be difficult, right? We can have a better view of it. Go to the dashboard view. I see only list view and my view. What if I want to have a better view, pipeline view? Manage Jenkins. Plugins, yes. Search for build pipeline plugin. Build pipeline. This one. Okay, build this plugin renders upstream, downstream connected jobs. Install this. And once it is installed, we can have a better view of our pipeline. Okay, manage Jenkins. Dashboard. Now you can see build pipeline. You give some name, let's say DevOps or something. And here, the starting job is important. If you tell the initial job, the tail, the sequence follows, right? So just shows compile and the tail follows. See, this is the colorful representation of your pipeline. If you want, you can build it, and you click on this one, entire pipeline will start execution. This is not working. Configure the selected job is fine. And also, let's say I want to see more runs, 2 pipeline runs. You can do that. See, it started actually, but it is taking time. Okay, see, the ones in executed will be green, the ones in pending will be blue, and so on. Actually, it's not executed. Maybe a bug. But yeah, this is the colorful representation of your pipeline. As we go by, we keep on adding the pipelines. Is this much clear for everyone? Interesting, isn't it? The representation of what we are talking about. Initial job can be executed with a code command and the rest of the pipeline continues. This is the CI/CD. Of course, we did not go for deployment yet, but yeah, as we go by, we learn the tools and we add on the stages. Any questions?
Why we created 2 pipelines here? One pipeline is fine, right?
Not 2 pipelines, 2 runs. I may run the pipeline 10 times. If you want to see all those runs, you can configure how many you want to see. Number of display builds or runs. Let's say I want to see last 3 runs.
Okay, logs.
Pipeline 1, 2, 3. Those many number of runs.
Okay, this will last 3 success. Last
Yes.
3 runs.
The second one itself is
Well-
not complete, whereas the third one is showing green and the first compile. How does it?
Only third time we run the pipeline, right? Initially, they were not executed in the pipeline.
Latest one
Initially,
will
they
be
were
on the top.
individual jobs, isn't it? Only one run happened successfully.
Latest one will be on the top, right?
Yes, this is the one. Here you can see the timestamp. 220. I don't think they were in the order. 241.
Those are the one which we executed yesterday. I mean,
Yeah.
even before creating the pipeline.
Okay, yeah, these are November 21st, correct. Yesterday we did not run the pipeline, so they were not showing anything.
So you have to select.
Today we executed and it was showing the pipeline. You can run from here, but somehow this button is not working. Let me start from here. Actually, you can start from there. I believe it's a bug, but now you can see here. I start. Yes. Okay, the ones in pending will be shown in, the ones in progress yellow, and once it's successful green, then the next one's pending in blue, and it will be started. Yes, right? Last 3 runs it will show. The top one is the latest one. Got it now? So this is the pipeline we were talking about. Tell me.
Yeah. So this once compile is successful, then unit test only run, right? If compile fails, it won't go to the unit next step.
You can
next step,
configure
right?
whether you want to proceed or not. Here I said proceed to every step because it's not dependent on the next part, but you can put those conditions in your job. This is the one. Here we were triggering the next job in any case. Here you can choose trigger only if build is stable or trigger even if the build is unstable. Then it goes even though it fails. But in our case, it proceeds once it passes only. Right? The last run you can see. From here also it's triggering. You can run and trigger. Rerun that particular part. So this is your pipeline. Now if you notice, yeah, where are these jobs running? Where is compile job running? Where is compile job running? On which machine is it running?
On Jenkins server.
On the Jenkins server. Even unit test also on the Jenkins server. This one also on the Jenkins server. Do you think is this a best practice? Every job, every task, packaging, testing, everything happens on a single server in reality? There'll be separate build servers, there'll be separate test servers, isn't it? It's not that you run everything on the same server. Correct? Meaning you have to run your jobs on a remote machines. Like compile maybe on build server, let's say server 1. This might be on test server, server 2. This might be on some other server, server 3. So your tasks or your jobs may be running on a different servers. This is the reality. And on Jenkins server, actually we don't run anything. This is called Jenkins master or else a dedicated server which will run only Jenkins and the UI. And these remote machines are called as slaves or nodes or agents, whatever you call them. And actual job runs there. That is the actual practice and the best practice. We don't put anything on master. So that concept is called Jenkins master slave concept or distributed builds in Jenkins, which is the reality. Concept remains same, everything remains same, only a small option changes to run on a remote machine. So we will do that, and irrespective of where your job is running, the pipeline still remains the same. First job may go to S1, once it is done, it will trigger a job on S2. Pipeline remains same. Now let's see how to put it on a separate machine. Good to go. And why you should do this? One is to share the load, right? You cannot put the load on a single server. Second thing is to have different environments. Like let's say this is you are doing something on a Linux server, right? You may have to execute or you may have to test them on Windows. How is that possible? Right? Again, this master slave concept will be helpful. Irrespective of the operating system of your master, your slave can be of any operating system. Your master may be Linux or Windows. Again, your slave could be anything. There is no dependency. Master is Linux, slave should be Linux or Windows, nothing. Am I clear? Thank you. Thanks for responding. So let us do the hands-on now. Now let us add these slaves. Slaves can be added in multiple ways. The best method is SH protocol is the one which is very widely used. So let us revise our SH concepts. We have gone through the SH concept, right? Let us revise that a bit. So generally, let's say this is my laptop. I want to connect to this remote machine. So what I'll do, I'll generate a key pair, correct? I'll put the private key here and put the public key here. And we can connect to it. If it is easy to instance, also same, but it will generate a key pair. It will keep the public. It will give us a private key in the form of PEM file. Agree with this, everyone? Gone through this as such concept before, so are you all good with this?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So this is how it is working.
Yes.
So this is how it works. So now let's say this is my Jenkins server. I want to connect to a remote machine, means another EC2 instance. If I want to connect, what I can do, I can generate a new key pair, right? Put the public key here. Put the private key here. Okay, and copy the public key.
Preeti, in real-time environments, do you still download those PEM keys to your local machine, or you keep them in some kind of a file system of your
We don't
net?
download those PEM files. Okay, you will be provided with a Bastion server to connect to those servers. Here also, what we are doing is we are generating a new key pair on Jenkins. We are not using those existing key, but still, if existing key is available, you can also use that. Here we'll generate a key pair. We'll keep the private key and put the public key on the remote. Let us do that. Let us create a new instance. Let's say this is slave 1. Amazon Linux 2. Micro. The key pair is going to be AWS key. Okay, that should be fine. This is our Jenkins server anyway, and the slave is going to be okay. So first, let's connect to Jenkins master. So here, as a particular user, as a root user or some user, you can generate the key pair. But using root user is not a good practice. So we'll use a regular user. Okay, we'll create a new user and we'll work with it. Okay, user and user1 password user1. I'm just creating some user. This user should be present on that slave also. Okay, fine. I have created the user and I'm adding this user in the sudoers file. When you are modifying this file, again, be very careful. You should not mess up this. So you can have backup of this file before you modify. I'm adding this user one here so that he can run all the commands without prompting for password. Okay, so username is added, and yeah, that's all we did here. Just let's restart SHD. SH is already installed there, right? So restart this. Now as a user, we will generate a key pair, but before that, let's connect to our slave also. Let's connect to the slave. Here also we'll have this key. We'll have this user created as the root user and user one. Password for this user one. Because with this user we are going to assess, this user should be present on both the machines. And also we are using key-based authentication, correct? But for the first time, it is password-based authentication only. But password-based authentication is disabled on all cloud instances for security, right? Because password authentication is not best, it is disabled on all cloud instances. But for the first time, you need it even though you are using key-based authentication. See here, password authentication is commented. Uncomment it and comment this password authentication to no. You need it only for the first time of connection. Later on, you can again disable it. So this is the change you need, and restart SHD. Done. Now go back to the Jenkins master. Here, let us generate the key pair. How do you generate the key pair? As user one, not as a root. So switch to user one. Now generate the key pair using the command SSH keygen. Okay. So enter, just leave it. See, it says generating public private key pair. Do you see that? Yeah. And do you want to set any password and all? I just have navigated through without confirming. So it will create this in this path .sh folder, hidden folder. And see, this is the private key and this is the public key. So this public key should be copied onto the remote machine. The slave machine, wherever you want. How do you copy? You can copy manually, or else sh copy id command is there, which will copy it as user one at the rate IP address of your slave. That too private IP, because it's a communication between two EC2 instances. So private IP will do. It asks for confirmation, yes. And password for first time, that's what. See, I have given incorrect password. Okay, it is asking again. 1 second. Now put the password. This is only for the first time. Done. Now, next time onwards, you can directly SH this way. SH as user1 onto this machine. See, this is the slave machine. You don't have Jenkins at all. You don't need to put Jenkins on slaves. Jenkins will be only on one server, which is a Jenkins master, a dedicated server. Connection is established. That's all. I am back as master. So once this connection is established, like SH connection is established means between master and slave, now we can go to the Jenkins page. Here we should configure those nodes. Go to manage Jenkins nodes. Here it says add, remove, control, monitor various jobs, various nodes that Jenkins runs jobs on. Okay, here you can add new node like let's say slave one. Permanent agent means the configurations will be stored. You can use it whenever you need it. See, so many so many node configurations, like some description if you want, EC2 Linux instance. Number of executors means number of jobs it can run at a time. Alright, it's like a programs you allocate it. If you want to run parallelly 3 jobs, you should allocate 3 executors. How many executors you can assign also depends on the CPUs available on this machine. Okay, ours is T2.micro. It has got 1 CPU, 1 executor will do. Remote root directory. See, every job uses some workspace, right? And it is using on master because it's running on master. Now it's running on the slave. You can provide a directory which it can use as a workspace. I want to put this root TMP folder. Some labels. Labels are like tags, identifiers to identify that particular machine. I would say Linux slave. Okay. Were these options clear till this part? Slave 1, description, executors, remote root directory labels. Were these clear before I go for next configurations?
Yes.
Okay, then you have usage. Usage is, again, there were different options. If you choose, use this node as much as possible. If it is online, means all the jobs prefer to execute here. But I don't want it. I want only build jobs with label expression. Means I want to decide, okay, compile jobs, go to this mission. Test job, go to this mission. So choose this one so that the job will be assigned to a particular node using this label. Okay. Then launch method. It is SH. The host IP, again the private IP of your target machine. Okay. Credentials, you don't need anything. And host key verification strategy. Manually trusted. We were already opening an SSH connection, right? So manually trusted key verification. Availability is, yeah, keep this node as much as possible, or else you can schedule when it should come online and save it. That's all. Right? This is your, earlier we have only one node, which is master node, but now you have this. Yeah. Here, yeah. The agent is offline because Jenkins failed to launch the agent process. Okay, so try to launch the agent. It will show you the error. See, validate configuration. It has to have Java installed. If you scroll up, see, launching agent process aborted, Java lang launch here. Actually, this machine also should have Java installed. Okay, that's the reason. And it will also tell you to install Java. See, launching agent process aborted. Right? Let us install Java on this machine and see. This is the one, right? This is the remote machine. So let us install Java here. On the slave, let us install Java. That's a prerequisite. Okay, as you have Java installed, let's relaunch the agent. Actually, if it is connected, I mean, if it's working, it should show like it's online, but it's saying it's offline. So let's see. It should show relaunch. It's not showing it. Let's wait. So many manual steps involved in here. Okay, instead of all these manual steps, we'll also automate it further. Okay, but first I'm showing you the hard way, the manual steps, be Java, like for MVN package, you are struggling for Java compatibility, right? We don't need to do it. All of this will be overcome as we go by. But if for you to understand the problems, we were also going through those scenarios. Okay, the scenarios you are seeing struggling up will not be there as we go by. You will realize we don't need them at all. But you may be asking, why should we spend time there? You should know first the problems, right? So I'm taking you through the real difficulties before we automate the whole thing. So follow the same. It was taking too long. Let us wait. See, like I said, right, this Jenkins with versions, it keep on changing. Before we used to have a relaunch option, but I'm not seeing the relaunch now. It's just showing launch so that it can recheck. So let's wait.
Jenkins, sorry, Priti, Mankari. So on the slave, we are installing only agent, right? Not Jenkins. Jenkins claims slave agent we are installing, right?
See, slave or agent are same. We call that server as slave or agent. And you don't have Jenkins on it. Only Java should be there for Jenkins master to connect. It was taking to. Oh, one more thing is missed, I believe. One second. I missed one thing. Yeah. See, credentials. I did not add the credentials. Do you see? That's what it was saying. Credentials not found. Yeah, we have to add username and password for that user, right? I missed this step actually. Username you want to connect is user1. Password is also user1. You may give some name to it like such user credentials. Okay, those credentials store you should add and select it. That's I missed it. Okay, then save it. Yeah, now it came up actually. It's not with the Jenkins, it's our mistake actually. Okay. Now, yes, it should be connecting, but it's saying some other error. Install Java 8 or Java 11. I did that, but let us see. This time it's showing Java error. Connection will be allowed, but checking Java version, Java 11 is installed. Connection is closed. Let me check again. Oh, see, it has actually not installed. Is available. It's asking to install this way. Okay, let me do that. Using Amazon extra packages, we should install it saying install this. Java is not actually installed. Now again launch because it's trying.
I think this mobile extreme is only for like Mac, Windows, right? It's not for Mac.
I think it is for Mac also. You have Mobex terms. It is done. Yeah, tell me. Launch it. And now it should be connected. See, agent successfully connected. Just give me 2 minutes, please. I'm sorry, there is some disturbance. So the slave is connected now, right? Now, how do you run the jobs? We have different jobs and all of them are on master. Let's suppose now I want to put this package, right, on the slave. So go to configure, and if you scroll down here, sorry, here you will have restrict where this project can be run. Do you see this here? So here put the label, or till now if you don't choose means it will go to master, but now this is where labels are helpful to identify that particular. This is the slave label we have given, right? So, right, what it's saying, yes, matches one node, which is our slave. So that package will go on to that machine. But this needs again Java 8. We need to configure it. But let us run. I'll run first this package to show you that it's going on to the right machine. Actually, in the console output, we can see where it is going. Right? See here, building in the workspace, this one running as system means it's on master. But now let me rerun. Similarly, pipeline also, entire pipeline also works the same if you run. It could be running anywhere and it's throwing error. Let's see. Yeah, Git, because it has to clone there. See, it was using TMP as a workspace. Do you remember I have configured this TMP as a remote root directory? Do you remember that? Yeah. So, you go here, configure. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the slave configure. This is the one, right? That's why it was executing everything there. But when it tried to clone, there is no Git. That's the error. See, error cloning report origin TMP workspace package. So you can also check that on the slave machine. Here, this is master and this is the slave. Let it. Okay, so right. So this is where a workspace directory is again created and it is trying to clone there, but it could not find Git. So it's giving error. Let me install Git. You may install manually or you can also use tool configuration tool automatic installer. Maven will be installed through it. Git I have installed manually. Let's build again. Right, in that workspace now it's cloning. And do you see it was installing Maven? Because tools configuration were done. And here also, if you remember in our job, we choose my Maven, correct? Where is it? Yeah, here, my Maven. It's coming from tools, right? Automatic tool installer. So on remote machine also automatic tool installers can be used. And those will be installed here in the workspace tools directory, right? That's the Maven being used, correct? So now if you go to package, go to workspace, package, right? Target, right? This is where, see, already it's created address book var. Got it clear, everyone? Understood? Yes. Now this is in created here in the remote machine, right? So that's how you can run any job on remote machine. You may create some other machines, tie up these jobs also there. And when you run this pipeline, right? it just works the same. It could be running on any machine, it just works the same. That run button is not working, you build here and entire pipeline should be started. Irrespective of where they are running, pipeline still remains same. This is the master slave concept or distributed builds in Jenkins. Any questions? Yeah, unit test is in progress. Right? Right, compile unit tests and package. This got executed. You can see the console output. It will be started on remote. See, remotely on slave 1, and this is the slave in this workspace. Any questions? Can you add these two also to a different server? Yeah. Try adding them to a different server. You can put multiple jobs on the same server also. You can try moving them to the other server. That's a best practice. We should not put any load on Jenkins master. Jenkins master should be a dedicated server which runs only the UI and delegates the jobs to the slaves. These are all advanced concepts in Jenkins. We'll use this throughout, but with a much more automation. This is actually the manual steps. So many manual steps involved. All of those will be automated as we go by. Only thing is open an SSH connection, then configure it this way. Configure the node. I'm just showing the steps in brief. First, open an SSH connection, then add the slave here. Okay, with those credentials, how you are opening SSH connection. Once that is done, first thing is open SSH connection by generating a key pair. Second thing is add that node with all those configurations. Third thing is you go to any job and delegate that job using this option, restrict where this project can be run. Those are the 3 high-level steps. Do the hands-on, okay? Try to put these also on a remote machines, okay? This is the pipeline we have. We are having 3 jobs. Our pipelines may be complex. As we go by, there might be 20 jobs or quite complex custom configurations. So creating so many jobs manually, connecting them with build triggers, post build is all again a challenge, or it's going to be tedious, right? So how do you automate all of this? That's where comes the next advanced concept called pipeline as a code concept. Pipeline as a code means you see the pipeline or you use the pipeline, you create the pipeline with a code. In that case, you don't create so many jobs, only one single job which will create the entire pipeline. You don't need to learn coding, or you don't need to learn, you don't need to be a programmer for this. Okay, anyone can do it with a little effort. We already have templates for it. Okay, how to make these things possible for everyone and all also we'll discuss, like how ChatGPT can help you with that. We'll discuss all those interesting things tomorrow. Any more questions? Anything else you want to? This is the advanced concept and this is the realistic approach, like pipeline as well. You don't create 3 jobs, connect them. We don't do that way. We just create one single job which will automate the entire pipeline, which will create the entire pipeline, which is going to be very interesting. That's a realistic approach. But to understand this, you need to go through this. Any questions from anyone?
As of now, no. But once we are done with the
Sure.
labs, we'll let you know.
Do the hands-on, okay, like some of you have done, but I don't see many. You are not responding or you are not doing, I don't know. Okay, but
I am also in between of this. You see, yesterday to told na this will work on only Java 11. So I was just setting the environment variables. So there I stuck. Like someone else also has stuck na.
yeah.
So there only I am. So we'll try.
Sure, sure.
But again, if there are some steps now which is written that you have to do this, then again do this, then do that.
Yeah.
It will be helpful actually. And also, I will not say, but we are new to this Linux commands now. So somewhere here and there we used to just stuck up.
Correct, agree. See, try to do the hands-on to whatever extent you can today. We'll also have a weekend, right? Saturday and Sunday. But don't just postpone. Try to do today something, at least something. You should be
Yes,
at
yes.
least completing this pipeline, at least one job. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you also have a weekend where you can do the complete things multiple times. But every day, try to complete as much as you can. As you go
Yes.
by, things will fall in place. You will be able to complete on the same day if you try to be on pace from now onwards. Right?
Yes,
So on weekend, it should be a kind of second time, third time revision. It should not be weekend, should not be like for the first time you begin the hands-on. You got me, right?
That's where only the things will get clear.
That's
So
what.
what is happening? I am doing step 1 and will reach step 3. Uh, so what happens? We used to forget the step 1 or maybe the steps which were in between of those. So to get the clear picture of that, we have to keep repeating it.
Preeti, I have a question. Like, you said like those PEM files will be downloaded to some bash servers or something like that, right? Let's say
No,
like
actually, you will be connecting from Bastion server. Bastion server means like a gem server from where you will connect to the actual machines.
Okay. So
Not
you don't need
to
that
the
kind
PEM
of
file.
So as a user, you don't need such key pairs since you are connecting from that gem server.
The way you connect may be different through Bastions or whatever. Okay, they may provide you the key or password. Each user may have different password kind of, or else there may be a Bastion server from where you can connect.
What
That
is it
depends
called?
on the architect. Bastion. A gem server kind of.
So it authorizes the user login. Just that is good enough for them to authenticate the works on done. Okay.
Yeah. See, depending on the architecture, each will have a different way of connecting. But if you know the concept, either from Putty or Mobexterm, whether it's a gem server, whatever server it is, the actual concept is this such concept.
I'm finding it hard for like Mobextreme is not for Mac. So the terminal is good enough, right? Except for like you can't log in. I see that you can log into both the shell script terminals, except for like.
So jump server means something. I am having a public IP of one server and I want to connect to some other server which is not having that public IP. Or maybe from one server, server 1, I am just using the remote things kind of thing and able to connect to the server 2. Is it?
Yeah.
By means of private IP?
Yeah, I checked. It's not for like Windows.
For Mac? Is it there for Mac?
For Mac. It's not for Mac. It's only for Windows.
Is it not there for Mac?
No.
I don't know.
Maybe terminal.
In Google, it says it has on Mac, but currently I was using on like Mac terminal as well.
Okay.
My question is like you are
fine.
able to log in. My question is like you're able to log in with two different servers, right? Slave 1 and user on the same terminal. Is that possible on the terminal also? Like you can
Yeah, you
log
can
in?
SH, right? You can SH into that machine using
Oh, okay, okay,
SH command.
okay. So I have to do
SSH
that.
from the
Except for that, I don't need to.
Hmm.
Okay.
You can SSH to it.
This
Mac
just gives you
download.
the root structure on left side, but that is not available for.
That is available only for MobiXTime. Even with Putty, you don't have it. That's a different interface. That's all. It need not be there for everything. Here, try. Have you tried this Mac MobiXTime download? I don't know how feasible it is, but you can try this. I haven't tested, but we'll have to test. I have shared it in this. You can check it and let me know. All right, then here we'll close here. We'll continue tomorrow. Do the hands-on. See, what I'm saying is do the hands-on regularly. Today, to whatever extent you do, at least one round of hands-on will be done. Next on the weekend, dedicate it for second time, third time to get much clarity and much visibility. Don't just sit on the weekend to do it for the first time. That will help you a lot. All right, then plan accordingly. Okay, you're all working professionals, experienced people. So I can just suggest you. So it's finally your plan, but try to do the hands-on.
Yeah,
And
that's just a fake thing. It is asking to
oh,
install some kind of extensions.
oh, okay. Mhm. Then I don't think we have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah,
Like
you have a terminal, you can use it then.
Yeah, I'm little backlog on like hands-on, but I will mostly I will be getting done by tomorrow.
Sure. Everyone do that. Also, when you do that, post the screenshots on the group, like I said. Okay, that will help to have a look at it, and also everyone, it will motivate everyone.
Okay.
All right, then. Thanks, everyone. Good day. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.